Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Marshal of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, Dr. Peter A. Wish.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ceremony of installation of Alan C. Meadows, the fourth Chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. We would request that you remain in your seats until the national anthem. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Molly Corbett Broad, President of the University of North Carolina.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, a very proud institution rich in tradition and heritage. It is my honor and my pleasure to join Board of Trustees Chairman Roger Oxendine in presiding at the installation of Dr. Alan C. Meadows as UNC Pembroke's 4th Chancellor and 6th Chief Executive Officer. In addition to this installation, we also gather to celebrate another momentous occasion, an important part of the life of the university, the awarding of diplomas to some 200 undergraduate and graduate students who will receive their degrees before the end of the 20th century and will be the last UNC Pembroke students to graduate in this century. To express our gratitude for this special day and to offer the invocation, I now call upon the Reverend Ronald Sanders, your campus minister. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing as the concert choir quartet sings our national anthem. Reverend Sanders.
Gentlemen, just for a moment, please. Oh God, known to us in many different ways, we pause this moment to willingly acknowledge that there is a mystery and knowledge of life greater than we can comprehend or grasp. But we are thankful that we have minds and the capacity to inquire and search out these mysteries and truth. In sacred moments, we are in awe. Within our university community here, we gather today to recognize one that's been called out to serve and to lead as Chancellor. Dr. Alan C. Meadows, is being ceremonially installed here today. Oh God, instill within him confidence and vision. Instill within him wisdom and passion. Instill within him empathetic compassion and openness as he invests himself in this place, in this time, through committed service. And as for the rest of us, as we gather today to celebrate accomplishments of academic study, and as we commence from this place, even into a new century and millennium, may we find strength and awareness from the past, but deliberately move into our future. Instill within each of us to find value of meaningful service in whatever communities life takes us. May we embrace life's fullness, its joys and sorrows, its discoveries and disappointments, the ordinary and the extraordinary. Yes, may we embrace life's fullness with both confidence and humility in the face of the great mystery and gift of life itself. Amen.
You may be seated. My dear friend, Chairman of the Board of Governors, and Reverend, President Broad, Chancellor, and Mrs. Meadows, your two sons, Tyson and Jarrett, esteemed faculty and staff, honored platform guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I welcome you to the installation of Alan C. Meadows as the Chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. This is indeed a great, tremendous day for the university. For only the fourth time since the university has been a member of the institution of the finest university system in the country, we observe the installation of our Chancellor. The UNC Pembroke family would like to thank you for joining us on this special occasion and for sharing with us our hopes, our vision, our pride, and our joy. Thank you.
The installation of Ellen C. Meadows as Chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke is an occasion of joy and of affirmation. It is a special time in the life of the university, and it is a special time in the life of the Meadows family. And to Barbara, Tyson, and Jarrett Meadows, I know that this is a very special moment in their lives. We are also privileged this afternoon to have a number of special university friends and colleagues that are part of the platform party. I would like to take a moment to introduce them to you, and I ask that they stand and remain standing as their names are called, and I ask you to hold your applause until I have had the opportunity to introduce the entire group. From my right, Dr. Peter Wish, Chief Marshal of this university and a person to whom I had the privilege of giving the university's Board of Governors Award for Teaching Excellence last spring. Next to him, Mr. Philip Bowman, Student Government President. Reverend Sanders. Dr. Warren Board, who's President of St. Andrew's Presbyterian College. Dr. Elson Floyd, President of Western Michigan University. Chancellor Meadows, Mr. Benjamin Ruffin, Chairman of the University of North Carolina Board of Governors. The Honorable Dexter Brooks, the Senior Resident Superior Court Judge. And in the second row, again from my right, Dr. Charles Jenkins, Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. Dr. Bruce Ezell, Dean of the Graduate School. Dr. Ken Clow, Dean of the School of Business and Mass Communication. And Dr. Zoe Locklear, Dean of the School of Education. Now please join me in acknowledging them and welcoming them. Also in the audience today and in the procession are a number of chancellors of the campuses of the University of North Carolina, and I wonder if I might ask them if they would rise along with any other presidents or chancellors of institutions of higher education in North Carolina. May I ask the chancellors to rise? It is now my great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Benjamin Ruffin, who is Chairman of the Board of Governors of the University of North Carolina, and he will bring to you greetings on behalf of the entire board that governs the 16-campus University of North Carolina. Mr. Ruffin.
Thank you very much, President Broad, Chairman Oxendine, to our distinguished Chancellor, Chancellor Meadows, to the students who are graduating and those who hope to graduate, to the faculty, staff, the trustees of this university, to the family and the supporters and friends of Pembroke. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to come and share in a dual ceremony, the graduation of 236 white students, and to install one of our outstanding educators in this country. But I do not come alone. I come representing the Board of Governors, and there are I know three of my colleagues in the audience, and I would invite them to stand. Will Brown, Deputy Brown from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Carvey Reeves from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and your own and our own Ruth Dow Wood from this community. Where's Ruth Dow Wood? Right here. This is a very special treat. We also have Mr. John Sanders, who is taking his seat, another member of the Board of Governors, so you can see from our attendance during this Christmas week how important this occasion is to us as Board of Governors members. This university, Pembroke, the University of Pembroke State, is an outstanding university, and for 112 years, the University at Pembroke has been a catalyst in the development of our state. We come today to pass the baton to the fourth leader. And as the parents sit out here today proud and happy about these young people graduating, I know how pleased you are and how proud you are of what this university has been able to give back to this community. And today we come to say to Dr. Meadows how proud we are of him and how pleased that he accepted our call to come to this great university. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow wrote words for Dr. Meadows for during times like these. The lives of great men and women all remind us that we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints in the sands of times. And Dr. Meadows, on behalf of the Board of Governors, we charge you to leave your footprints in the sands of times in this outstanding community and at this university. We charge you to leave your footprints in the sands of times in three ways. One, in terms of service to this community. This is a proud community, and I know you've already found that out in your brief statement. There's a lot of pride in this community, but there are also a lot of opportunities in this community for us to raise the bar and to help provide opportunities for young people and for senior citizens and for folk in this community. So we challenge you and we charge you to leave your footprints in the sands of times in this community. We challenge you to leave your footprints in the sands of times in our state by making sure that each and every citizen in our state and yea, out through this nation recognizes and smiles and is proud of the work that goes on at this great university. But lastly, we charge you to leave your footprints in the sands of times for the students of this university and for the students who will come to this university. To leave these students with an inspiration and a pride that's unparalleled. A pride that says to them, it's not where you're coming from, but where you're going. It's not what your name is, but the name that you make for yourselves as you matriculate and get a good education at our schools. So Dr. Meadows, we congratulate you. We salute you. We thank you for coming to North Carolina to serve as the head, as the chancellor of one of our outstanding universities. But we charge you to raise the bar and make this university verging out the very best that's in them. Charles Wesley would simply have us leave these words to you as you assume the helm of this outstanding university. A charge to keep you have, and a God to glorify. An ever-dying soul to save and to fit it for the sky. To serve the present age is your challenge to fulfill. Oh, may all God's powers engage to do his master's will. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Ruffin. It is now my very great pleasure to recognize President Warren Board of St. Andrews College to bring greetings on behalf of the sister colleges and universities of North Carolina. Your program indicates that Chancellor Pat Sullivan was going to speak to you, and were it not for the fact that she is ill in her bed and unable to be here, she would be bringing these greetings. And we are most grateful to President Board for his willingness on behalf of all of the colleges and universities of North Carolina to bring greetings to Chancellor Meadows.
Thank you, President Broad. Chancellor Meadows, Chairman Ruffin, Oxendine, members of the Board of Governors, members of the Board of Trustees, and especially graduating students, their faculty, the staff, alumni, and friends of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. I'm glad that President Broad explained to you who I am. I was afraid I'd have to do that, and for those of you who know Pat Sullivan, you're very certain that I am not she. Though Pat would surely be here if she were able, and I'm certainly honored to represent her and the North Carolina Association of Colleges and Universities on this auspicious occasion. NCACU, as it's known, is an association of more than 100 community colleges, public and independent colleges and universities in our state. Of course, the University of North Carolina at Pembroke is an important member. For nearly 80 years, the association has advanced the cause of higher education in North Carolina by independently evaluating current practices and suggesting avenues to an even brighter future for all of our colleges and universities. To that end, the association has designed and recommended programs that emphasize accessibility between and among all of our institutions of higher learning. It encourages academic and administrative innovation and annually recognizes outstanding performance and leadership contributions. The University of Pembroke, as Chairman Ruffin has said, has been a catalyst for the association's work in this region of our state. So today, Dr. Meadows, on behalf of the North Carolina Association of Colleges and Universities, I'm personally delighted to bring greetings and congratulations to you on the occasion of your inauguration as the fourth Chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. And let me most assuredly and enthusiastically wish you many happy years of successful leadership at this wonderful institution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Board. In ceremonies such as this, it is customary for the new chancellor to ask a respected colleague or mentor to introduce him or her to the university community, and today that honor goes to President Elson Floyd of Western Michigan University. Elson and Alan met one another, were colleagues, and first worked together all the way across the country on the other shore in the state of Washington. But Elson Floyd is no stranger to this state or indeed to this university. Born in Henderson, he holds undergraduate, master's, and doctoral degrees from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And prior to being named president of Western Michigan University in 1998, he held senior administrative posts with the university's general administration, with the Washington State Higher Education Coordinating Board, and with UNC Chapel Hill. President Floyd, we are honored by your presence today, and we look forward to your remarks.
President Ronald, members of this audience, it's my pleasure to be here to present to you Chancellor Alan Meadows. You know, this is a wonderful day in the life of the University of North Carolina, Pembroke, and it's a wonderful day in the life of those of us who are in this fantastic state, because this is a period of transition, this is a period of change, it is a period of new leadership and new direction for your university. I have long since held to a fundamental belief that if we are to change in bold and significant ways, the delivery of our education in this country, it's going to require that we develop new paradigms and new ways of thinking and new platforms of knowledge that will catapult us into the 21st century. I cannot think of a single individual more ably prepared to do precisely that for your university than Dr. Alan C. Meadows. I have personally known Chancellor Meadows, his wife Barbara, and the boys, as I call them, for over a decade, and have been familiar with his work in transforming educational organizations through the prism of health and human services for over 2 decades. He brings to the stewardship of the Academy a unique and special perspective that will derive significant dividends for the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. In the information-infused, digital-based global marketplace in which he serves as Chancellor, he comprehends the moral imperative of cultivating the intellectual brain power of the citizens of North Carolina by providing meaningfully relevant academic programs and curricula that not only will stand the test of time today, but prepare them for the challenges for tomorrow. As our universities and institutions adapt and attempt to accommodate and respond to the ubiquitous needs of an increasingly impatient society, our leadership is challenged to seek ways to do more with less while simultaneously adding academic value and worth. His experiences ranging from computer sciences to business administration to health services management to psychology and human relations to administration and, of course, education, uniquely enable him to assume the reins here at Pembroke and to catapult your university into its rightful place in the new millennium. There is no doubt that having previously served as the CEO of Penn State Altoona, he fully comprehends the demands of today's chancellor within the context of a university system. From faculty relations to student relations to staff relations to university relations to being the #1 cheerleader for the university and the #1 fundraiser for the university, he has the vision, the energy, the passion, the stamina to continue to build on the enormous foundation beneath him as he reaches new opportunities and new challenges for such a growing and dynamic institution. Building on our days together at Eastern Washington University, I am confident that you are in wonderful hands, hands that have withstood the test of time, yet youthful enough and strong enough and agile enough to continue to grasp the kind of education that we seek and demand just beyond the horizon. And so to you, President Broad, Chair Ruffin, Board of Trustees Chair Oxendine, to the faculty, to the students, to the staff, to members of this rich and vibrant community, as my mother would say, you have done good by electing Dr. Alan C. Meadows as your fourth chancellor. And to Dr. Meadows, I say to you, good luck, good life, and good health, and continue with a vigor that is emblematic and reflective of your leadership. North Carolina is blessed to have you at this university.
Thank you, Dr. Floyd. You just reinforced my thought that we did have the best chancellor in the system. Ladies and gentlemen, as chairman of the Board of Trustees, I had the honor to also serve as the chairman of the search committee that recommended Alan C. Meadows to be our fourth chancellor. 14 members of the committee received President Broad's charge, I think, probably a year ago, almost a year ago today. And that charge was pretty extensive. We knew the next chancellor must be a respected educator, a seasoned administrator, and a people person, as I call it. We also knew that the next chancellor must have a vision for the future, as well as an appreciation of the past and a respectfulness of the heritage of this great university. I would like to thank the search committee for their great job and what they did in selecting and presenting Dr. Meadows to President Broad for her consideration. Alan Meadows, I feel like, met these qualifications. I knew beyond a doubt that he could, but after he's been here for 6 months almost now, I have no doubt in my mind that he is what this university needed, and he is going to push us forward. So I say at this time, I would also like to thank the search committee. I think most of them are here. If you would stand, please, members of the search committee, if you're here. Please give them a hand. I think all of you, as I, share the respect and thought that we have chosen one of the best chancellors that we could have chosen. There's another distinctive group of people that I would like to recognize at this time, our own Board of Trustees. If you would please stand and be recognized. And I know by now these students are getting pretty antsy. I see them just moving around, so I know you're ready for this to get over with. But this is a great day in the history of this university, so be proud that you were able to be here and graduate and also see the installation of our fourth chancellor at this university. So at this time, to administer the oath, I would like to present to you our own and respected Senior Resident Superior Court Judge, Dr. Dexter Brooks.
Okay, members of the audience, and Dr. Meadows, you know, when a judge is in his courtroom, he has absolute power over what takes place during the proceedings, and therefore I'm going to exercise a slight prerogative, and I'm going to make some very brief remarks, and I assure you they'll be very brief. I would simply like to say that it's an honor for me to be here today and to participate in this ceremony. And I stand here as a graduate of North Carolina State University with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering and with a Master's in Mathematics. And then I went over to Chapel Hill and I got a Juris Doctorate degree in, of course, law. And so, although I never attended a class at this institution, I feel as though that I'm an integral part of this institution because my father and my mother were graduates of the institution, They reared 7 children, and Dr. Meadows, of the 7, 5 attended this university. And I say that to say that even if you live in this community or this region or this state, and you did not attend or your parents did not attend the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, you have a vital stake in this institution. This institution has been the engine which has improved dramatically the quality of life for all of us. And I think when you look about the county, you could say, and I would say without reservation, that without this institution, we would be 20 years behind where we are today. And I would further go on to say that I felt so strongly about this institution, and I felt so strongly about the candidate that was chosen by Mr. Oxendine and the Board of Governors, the search committee, that I put my money where my mouth was, and our family established a scholarship in memory of my father to encourage young people to go into teaching with a view towards keeping their talents at home and in educating the next generation of Robertsonians. And I did that, and as I say that, I recall someone once said that you only get one chance to make a good first impression. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would say to you that this gentleman has made a first impression par excellence. And I would say that during, and I don't want to sound like a graybeard and say that I'm ready for retirement, but I have observed this institution over a great number of years, and I can say without reservation that you come to the post that you're about to occupy with a broader base of support than any of your predecessors. And I think that's very commendable to the type of person you are. And having said that, and as I said, it would be quite brief, I'm going to administer the oath of office, and I'm going to presume and call Dr. Meadows my good friend and ask him to place his left hand on the Bible and to raise his right. And Dr. Meadows, I'm going to read the solemn oath of office, and then after I finish, if you agree to accept these weighty obligations and responsibilities, then you should respond by saying that you do. So do you, Alan C. Meadows, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, and do you solemnly and sincerely swear that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, and in entering upon the responsibilities of the office of Chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, do you undertake to fulfill its duties to the best of your abilities and without fear or favor, to cherish and encourage sound scholarship and the search for truth, and to dedicate all of the powers of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke to the intellectual, moral, and physical training of youth, and to the development of a moral and enlightened citizenship. Do you further promise to dedicate this university to impartial and sympathetic service to all of the people of North Carolina? Further, do you swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of the office of Chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke to the best of your skill and ability according to law, so help you God? Congratulations.
Alan C. Meadows, we have chosen you as Chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. Yours will be the great privilege and indeed the great responsibility of leading UNC Pembroke to fulfilling its potential into the 21st century. It is now my privilege to place over your shoulders the Medallion of UNC Pembroke, the symbol of this university. All of us who support this university, who serve it, and are served by this university, wish you every success in this new and very important endeavor. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the university community, and friends of UNC Pembroke, I present to you the fourth Chancellor of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke.
Thank you. Thank you. President Broad, Chairman Reverend, Chairman Elson, President of the Board, Dr. Floyd, my fellow chancellors and presidents, and other university representatives, members of the Board of Governors, Board of Trustees, faculty and staff, student body, today's graduates, alumni, family, and dear friends, please know that I'm honored by your presence. We are gathered here in Gibbons Performance Arts Center, united in an aegis duty to educate the students of the university. And today, we are to reaffirm that solemn purpose. It is a great privilege for me to be part of this ceremony. I wish to thank you for attending and for expressing your support. As you go through life, there are many people who touch your life, people you owe so much to, for being your friend, for loving you when you have made mistakes and failed. I care for these individuals more than anything. I hope I never let them down or give them the opportunity to doubt the love and the appreciation that I have for them, for they are the cornerstone of my being. Before I begin my comments, I'd like to introduce three very, very important people in my life. My wife, Barbara, our son, Tyson, and Jared. It's difficult to know what to say in an installation, especially one's own. Such a ceremony yearns for some profound wisdom, which is good insurance that effort to meet that expectations will meet mediocrity. Institutions have many ways of marking the transition of leadership. Some are very formal, such as the military change of command. Others do little more than change the nameplate on the door and establish a new email address. We are fortunate in higher education that our transitions are marked by tradition, established and passed down over the centuries. And what a proud tradition we have in higher education. We can trace our roots to the 12th century. Of the top 100 corporations in existence a century ago in this country, very few have stood the test of time. Yet, the first 9 institutions of higher education in this country, established over 200 years ago, still flourish. But the great fanfare of this ceremony is the colorful flags, robes, hoods, and other regalia. We have a marvelous tradition. This is a time of enormous challenge and opportunity for our university and for all of higher education. It is a time we must think about our mission, our core values, whom we serve, and how we serve them. It is a time for renewal, for realignment, and for recommitment to our fundamental purpose. It is time to rediscover ourselves in the special relationship we share with the public we serve. Let me begin by reading a paragraph from the mission statement of our university. It reads, founded in 1887 to educate American Indians, the university now serves a student body reflective of the rich cultural diversity of American society. As it stimulates interaction within and among its cultural groups, the university enables its students to become informed, principled, and tolerant citizens within a global perspective. I'm extraordinarily moved by that statement. It rolls up the past, the present, and the future of the university mission in unambiguous language. There should be no doubt in anyone's mind what we are about. Some may trivialize the whole concept of the mission statement, but let me say I take these words very seriously, and they'll be the cornerstone of our chancellorship. Today, our colleges and universities are coming under closer public scrutiny than ever before, because higher learning is more important to the future of our society than ever before. In what many refer to as the information age, access to learning is not only the primary means for individual improvement, social mobility, and the transition of civic and cultural values, but it's also the primary engine for economic competitiveness and advancement of the quality of life around the globe. In every dimension of our civic, social, and economic life, learning has become the center of all that we are now and all that we aspire to become. The information age has launched post-secondary education to the center stage of the public agenda. The challenge confronting the University of North Carolina at Pembroke and every other university in this nation is to respond with agility, creativity, and integrity. As leaders in higher education, it falls to us to see the course for the future. Several years ago, a colleague of mine at Penn State said there are 2 things wrong with higher education leadership today. He asked, where is the optimism and where is the passion? In searching for these missing elements of leadership, they are too often found buried under concern over public criticism. Because universities stand for the highest ideals of our society, we are easy targets for public criticism. When it's unpopular to stand for value, quality, traditions, freedom of speech, human rights, and integrity, I say it is better to be unpopular. Because our shared core values, not in spite of them, I am optimistic about the future of higher education in this nation. As for passion, it must be encouraged, nurtured, and rewarded. The greatest teachers have it. The most brilliant research discoveries stem from it. Our best artists and musicians put it on display. It shines in the eyes of our most eager students, and it gleams from the faces of our staff and nourish the progress of our students every day. I promise you that as long as I serve as chancellor of this university, we will have a passionate feeling for education and our students. We will stand for what is right. We will continue to do what is right for our students and our community. We have begun this job with optimism, and we will finish it the same way. With passion and optimism, we will anticipate and take on the challenges of our region, our state, our nation, and our global community. This will require an institution-wide commitment to our mission. Entrepreneurial activities and creative thinking will be rewarded. Energy will be created through collaboration, cooperation, and mutual support. Our benefactors must have believed in the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, and perhaps most importantly, we at the university must believe in our university. In the most fundamental sense, the University of North Carolina at Pembroke exists to promote learning. We do so through discovery, transmission, application, and preservation of knowledge in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in the community. If we are to be truly learner-centered, we must ask ourselves the following questions before we make any decision or set any priority. What impact will our decisions have on our learners? If it has no impact or an unfavorable impact, we have no business doing it. If the university exists for learning, we must never overlook an opportunity to serve that purpose. Every employee on our campus, every faculty member, every administrator, our physical plant staff, our service staff must think of him or herself as a contributor to the learning process. The opportunity to be a teacher and promoter of learning will come along at times and in places that may be least expected. All of us must seize the minute wherein and wherever it presents itself. The famous longshoreman and philosopher Eric Hoffer once wrote, "In time of change, the learner will prosper, whereas the learned will be dealing with a world that no longer exists." If as a society we are to be as successful in the future that I see, we must ensure that our graduates are lifelong learners. It is clear to me from watching what is happening at hundreds of universities in this nation that the future will belong to those institutions that focus not on their limitations, but on their opportunities. Indeed, through boldness, creativity, and the willingness to think anew about whom they serve and how they serve them, they are creating their own opportunities. It's also clear to me that the public doesn't care much about the problems within the university. They have their own problems with which to worry about, and justifiably so. What they do care about, and what we should care deeply about, is how well they are served. I say to you today that we have the capacity to become a truly great university, not simply to imitate traditional academic models and approaches, but to invent new models based on our view of the future and our place in it. Even if, at times, it means to risk failure because of our dreams, that is what the time demands. This is what our learners need. This is what the public deserves, and is what we should expect of ourselves. More than 20 years ago, one of the nation's great university presidents, Father Theodore Hesburgh of Notre Dame, offered advice to new university presidents and chancellors that I would like to share with you today. He wrote, "Always do what is right, not what is easiest, not what will cost the least, not what will make you the most popular. Based on what you know, do what is right. Make the right decision. Second, have courage. Be prepared to stand alone if necessary. There will be times when it is necessary. Be prepared. You cannot please everyone. Third, do not think that you can do everything. You cannot. Have faith in yourself and those around you. Fourth, do not think that you're indispensable. You are not. The day you leave, someone else will be doing your job and probably doing it better. Humility is not simply a nice virtue. It is the truth. Finally, be human. No matter how difficult the situation, treat others with dignity, humane sensitivity, consideration, and compassion. Father Hesburgh's advice is as timely today as it was 20 years ago. It is advice that I will do my best to follow. Over the last 5.5 months, those here on our campus have often heard me say that what we're about is commitment to ensuring the success of our students. Today, we celebrate our first winter's commencement in a very long time, honoring our successes, our students, our graduates. Our commitment to student success means that we recognize students' growth and achievement as our ultimate goal. Our job begins when students walk through the door, but it does not end when they cross this stage. It will always be a place for our students to come home to. Thank you for joining us today for this installation. And now let's go on with the recognizing of the real champions of the day, our fall 1999 graduates. Last spring, right after I was chosen Chancellor of the University, I visited the campus and met with various groups. I was asked by the then student government president, Ben Gersh, if I supported conducting a winter commencement. I said I did, but I would have to know how the student body and the faculty felt. And just like magic, there was decision papers complete with charts and graphs and comments from students and staff. It is obvious by the turnout today that a winter commencement is warranted. I'd like to thank Mr. Gersh and the SGA of 1998-99 for bringing this to our attention. Ben? To present greetings to the winter class of 1999 is Dr. Solemn, Chair of the General Faculty.
President Broad, Chairman Ruffin, Chancellor Meadows, and other distinguished members of our platform party and our many other distinguished guests, to university staff and administrators, to the families and friends of the graduates, and especially to our graduates, I bring you greetings from the faculty of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. A December graduation in the bleak midwinter. Just 1 week from today, at 2:44 a.m., it will be the winter solstice. On that day, the sun will be as low in the sky as it will be all year. Day length will be shorter than on any other day. The bleak midwinter. Robert Frost captures this in one of his poems. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. The bleak midwinter. But this has been a time of year to celebrate for thousands and thousands of years. For example, throughout the British Isles, there are remnants of stone circles that took incredible amounts of time and effort to construct. I saw some of the circles in Scotland this summer, and they are awe-inspiring. Stone circles help these ancient peoples track the progression of the seasons and reckon times of celebration. But why would you celebrate the bleak midwinter? Because on the day after the winter solstice, the sun will be a little higher in the sky. Daylight will be a little longer. It's the turning point. After the winter solstice, every day will be brighter and brighter. Now, you have made it through the dark time. It's time for you to celebrate, to graduate. And so, on behalf of the faculty, I say congratulations on your accomplishments and best wishes for a bright, bright future.
Thank you, Dr. Cave. Representing the student body and presenting greetings is Mr. Philip Bowman, President of the Student Government Association. Philip? Thank you, Dr. Meadows. On this your graduation day, you are filled with pride, joy, and intense satisfaction. For many of you, this is a dream come true. On the other hand, you might simply be relieved that the nightmare of final exam is finally over. Yet today is not without its sadness, as we break ranks and leave the coziness of the community in which we've lived in so long. I should say this increasingly important segment of our lives is over. This day marks the end of one stage and is the beginning of another. Yet every beginning ushers in every end ushers in a new beginning. Life is a succession of beginnings. As you look ahead at the uncertainties awaiting you out there in what they call the real world, over the past years, you acquired knowledge, skills, and ability to find that first job, to realize your job abilities, and build your potential marketability. Overall, I hope you are infected with the optimism and confidence of your generation about your own capacities and the future you will construct. The word impossible these days means that we do not know how to do it yet. We have all become creatures of computers, cell phones, microwaves, VCRs, compact discs, and smart transportation systems. These products are common in our society and are taken for granted. We must stay abreast and informed on how to use and create new technology. We must keep asking ourselves, how can we make a return on all the good that has come my way in life? I don't believe that any graduation speech would be complete without some sort of quote or quotes that could help you out there in what they call the real world. So here we go. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. When all else fails, follow directions. Confidence in nonsense is a requirement for the creative process. Never deny somebody hope in maybe all they have. So few people think that we find one who really does, we call him a genius. Finally, I will leave you with an old Slavian quote by which I live my life by. Speak the truth, but leave immediately afterwards. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Philip. It is now my pleasure to introduce our provost, the university's chief academic officer, to introduce our guest speaker. I ask Dr. Charles Jenkins to come to the lectern. Thank you, Chancellor Meadows. On behalf of the university, I am delighted this afternoon to introduce the speaker for our first winter commencement. Chancellor Meadows is starting an excellent tradition, in my opinion, this year, in that the speaker for the winter commencements each year will be our current faculty recipient of the University of North Carolina Board of Governors Award for Excellence in Teaching. In the spring of 1995, the UNC Board of Governors provided the first annual awards for excellence in teaching to underscore the importance of teaching and to encourage, identify, reward, and support effective teaching within the university. In doing so, the Board of Governors has made and continues to make each year a strong statement with respect to the importance of teaching on each campus within the University of North Carolina. Excellence in teaching has been an emphasis at UNC Pembroke for a long period of time. Our faculty is a great example of that. In the selection of this prestigious award, our University Awards Committee receives nominations from students, faculty, alumni, and Board of Trustees members, and submits this recommendation in accordance with the specific selected criteria of the Board of Governors. In addition to the great honor bestowed on each recipient, the award provides a $7,500 stipend each year. President Broad has also created each year an academic convocation honoring teaching in the University of North Carolina, and each recipient is duly honored during that convocation. Our 1999 recipient of the Board of Governors Award for Excellence in Teaching is Dr. Peter A. Wish, Professor of Science Education in the Department of Chemistry and Physics. Dr. Wish joined our faculty in 1977 and has distinguished himself as an excellent teacher since that time. He received his baccalaureate from Campbell University and his master's degree and doctorate from North Carolina State University. In his more than 30 years of teaching experience, Dr. Wish has realized that the cultural backgrounds of students influence how they perceive scientists and scientific information. He is known for the unique ability to humanize the content of science to make it more relevant to students. His teaching strategies include the use of real-life problems, hands-on activities, historical and humorous anecdotes, and dramatic presentations. And I would not be a bit surprised if we don't see some of these in his address today. For those of you that know Pete, that is a good possibility. Indicative of his commitment to teaching and to the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, Pete has declared that he considers teaching of science at UNC Pembroke to be the most important thing that he has done in his life. The commencement program provides for your information a more detailed statement about him and his teaching. On behalf of the entire university, and in particular our faculty and administration, I am pleased to call to the podium Dr. Pete Wish for the winter commencement address. Before I start, President Molly Broad, I'm so glad that you finally gave Dr. Meadows his medallion. He noticed mine at our convocation earlier this year, and I've been getting phone calls for the past 3 months wanting to borrow my medallion to go out and to speak to some civic groups and visit some of the other campuses in our part of the state. And I kept reminding him that it wasn't his medallion. I said, give yourself a few more weeks, or at that time it was a couple of months. And so I want to congratulate you. Your medallion has finally arrived. The phone calls can stop. And Molly, I never did give mine up. Chairman Ruffin, President Broad, Chancellor Meadows, chancellors and representatives of the constituent institutions, Chairman Roger Oxendine, and members of the UNC Board of Trustees, other distinguished platform guests, deans and administrators, my fellow faculty members, delegates to the installation, students, their families, relatives, and friends, and two individuals who, one I'm pretty sure is here, who had a big part in your lives for the last couple of years. They retired just a year ago. Is Dr. James B. Chavis in the audience? If you'll raise your hand. Dr. Chavis had a big part in many of your lives, and I knew he was going to be here. Is the former Chancellor Joseph Oxendine here? Joe? Welcome back, Jim. It is an honor for me to give what might be the first fall semester commencement address at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. It will certainly be the last address in the 1900s. This is undoubtedly the largest classroom that I have ever had the opportunity to teach in, and the most diverse audience that I have ever spoken to. I want to thank all my students, past and present, for enabling me to be here today and for turning a teacher's dream of giving a commencement address to his students into a reality. A university is a place where significant growth and development in a student's cognitive, physical, and affective abilities and traits should occur. Therefore, the focus of my three-part address will be on the changes that occur in our students' lives, your lives, as a result of their experiences at UNCP. The first part of the address will focus on those changes in a student's life that we, as faculty members, feel should occur as a result of their involvement in the UNCP community. The second part of the address includes written statements describing the most significant changes that have actually occurred in the lives of some of our graduates as a direct result of their experiences at our university. The third part of this address will offer some last words of advice for our graduates to consider as they enter the year 2000 and the new millennium that will follow. We, the faculty, do hope that you have made significant changes in your cognitive or academic, physical, and affective abilities and traits while attending UNCP. With respect to your cognitive growth, we feel that you should have gained a broad base of knowledge and understanding in a variety of disciplines and a more in-depth understanding in one or more areas of specialization. That this cognitive growth did occur, the fact that it did occur is evidenced by approximately 233, and I've just heard a little while ago, that figure is up 236 members of this graduating class. For the first time in the history of the university, the cognitive or academic achievements of a graduating class are distributed across one college, 2 schools, and 1 professional program. The largest number of graduates is from the College of Arts and Sciences. We have approximately, and these numbers, keep in mind, could be off anywhere from 1 to 3 based on our 3 editions over the past, I think, 24 to 48 hours. Some of you must have just gotten in under the wire. Based on the departments from which their degrees come from, the academic disposition of this graduating class is as follows. 64 of you are from sociology, social work, and criminal justice, 20 from biology, 8 from history, 8 from mathematics and computer science. If you want to cheer for yourself, you may. 7 from psychology and counseling, 6 from political science and public administration, 5 from chemistry and physics, 5 from art, 4 from English, theater, and languages, and 2 from philosophy and religion. The School of Business and Mass Communications is graduating approximately 37 students today, 34 from business and 3 from mass communications. The School of Education is graduating approximately 24 students. Education majors account for 15, while 9 are graduating from health, physical education, and recreation. Our professional program in nursing has, I believe, 2 graduates. Our School of Graduate Studies has approximately 41 graduates. It is obvious that a significant academic change has occurred in all of your lives. However, expected changes in your affective areas of development are more difficult for us to observe, but we do suspect that significant changes have occurred in your personal, interpersonal, social, and emotional areas of development as a result of your experiences at UNCP. Although we cannot say for sure, we, the faculty, hope that some of the following changes did in fact occur. We hope that we have taken you from curiosity to discovery, and that the degree of curiosity that you possess continues to increase. Curiosity, a burning desire to know something, is usually evidenced by the number of questions an individual will ask. We try to encourage you to ask questions when you were in our classes. When you enter your field of study when you enter your field of study as a professional, don't be frightened to ask questions, because it is the first step toward discovery. Without it, there is no discovery. We hope we have made you a little less closed-minded and more open-minded, especially when it comes to appreciating, not necessarily accepting, the viewpoints of others. You have a right to hold on to what you believe and don't believe, but give others the same respect and right to accept a different viewpoint. Like curiosity, open-mindedness is also necessary for the discovery of new knowledge. We hope that we have helped you to become a little less opinionated and more objective, especially when making critical decisions or drawing conclusions about something or someone. Being objective will be a challenge for you, as it is for all of us in this building. Being objective means removing any personal prejudice, bias, or discrimination from any decision-making process. It could well be the most important affective attribute discussed thus far. When appropriate, we hope that we have taught you when to be skeptical about ideas or suggestions that may be new to you. A good, healthy dose of skepticism will help lessen the chances of your becoming too gullible at the wrong time. Let the traits of curiosity, open-mindedness, and objectivity, skepticism is also necessary for your continued growth in knowledge. Think, for example, when a new scientific discovery is announced, the first thing that happens is that the skeptics come out of their woodwork. But think of the importance of this trait. If it weren't for those skeptics, the new discovery would go unchallenged. And if the discovery came from a flawed experimental design, it may well prove useless or harmful. Lastly, we hope that you have grown to embrace the trait of humility. Being humble is not a weakness. It is a very positive trait that will serve you well into the year 2000 and beyond. Keep these 5 very special and important traits in mind. These traits, along with the possession of such interpersonal skills like the ability to cooperate and work as a member of a team, will be your survival pack in the professional world of your choice. We, the faculty, hope that some, if not all, of these changes have actually occurred in you, and that they were brought about in one way or another by your interaction within the UNCP community. As faculty, knowing that these changes have actually occurred is very important to us, because they are aspects of our overall university mission statement and respective departmental mission statements that deal with the whole student. This brings us to the second part of my address. Just what are some of the most significant changes that have actually occurred in your life that can be attributed directly to your interacting within the UNCP community? This question was part of an informal survey instrument that was completed by some of you and returned to me over the past 3 weeks or so. To help focus your responses, you were asked to include any cognitive, academic, social, or personal changes that occurred in your life. The following responses come directly from you, so please listen up. You may hear your name. To Miss Lisa Tonelli, where's Lisa at? Raise your hand, I want to see it. The most significant event was both academic and personal. Lisa wrote, being inducted into the Alpha Chi National Honor Society. This was a great honor, and I'm very proud of this accomplishment. We're also proud of you, Lisa, and pleased that you were able to complete your work at UNCP. To Mr. Joseph Schlee, Joseph? The most significant changes were in in the personal and interpersonal growth areas. Joseph wrote, UNCP has forced me to become more responsible, if necessary, if it works, and has allowed me to make many lifelong friends among both students and professors. If not for UNCP, I would be a completely different person. Joseph, thanks for including some of our professors on your list of long life friends. I hope I'm there. The next student's response that was selected to Miss Emily Bailey, an elementary education major. Where are you at, Emily? Okay. Her most significant changes were in social and personal growth. Emily reported, I learned the importance of hard work, determination, and a good attitude. These changes came about by spending my time while at UNCP in the local schools, working with children from all sorts of backgrounds, as well as traveling with the tennis team and playing opponents from countries such as Sweden, Africa, and Australia. I will always be a strong advocate of UNCP. Emily, I know you'll represent us well wherever your travels take you. To Ronnie Critelli. Ron, now I understand you have a New Jersey contingency with you. One whole row is reserved. A business management major, his most significant changes were in personal and interpersonal growth. Ron writes, the transition from adolescence to a responsible adult is the most significant change that I have seen in my 4.5 years at UNCP. The closeness among students and faculty was important. UNCP just grows on you. Ronnie, we're pleased that you picked UNCP to lead you from adolescence to adulthood. Miss Melissa Pravat, a biology major. Melissa, here? There she is. She's waving real hard. Has attributed the changes in her life to social and interpersonal growth. She writes, the most significant changes that I have experienced has come from my interactions with my fellow students. I observed my fellow students overcome so many obstacles in order to graduate. These individuals are amazing and have changed the way I view people in general. I have a new perspective toward working with people, and hopefully this will carry over to the workplace. Melissa, learning to respect others will serve you well in the years to come. If you respect them, they will most likely respect you. To Citrina Gainey. Citrina, here she is, see the blue robe, one of our graduate students. A former UNCP undergraduate elementary education major and now a graduate school elementary education major, has undergone significant changes in personal growth and interpersonal relations. Citrina writes, since my initial interaction with the UNCP community, I have become a more open-minded, well-rounded person. I am able to be more objective in my thinking and more fair in my judgment of people. My experience has truly been life-changing. Citrina, being open-minded, objective, and fair to people will serve you well in the next millennium. Thanks for choosing UNCP to help you through your academic and personal life. So William Pence, a biology major, where's William at? Bill? Significant changes in cognitive, academic growth, as well as interpersonal and personal growth have occurred. He reported that knowledge gained from my biology professors is one of the most significant changes, and also having a definite goal of what I want to do with my life. I would have to say, I love this, that the most significant change that has occurred is when I met my girlfriend. She's probably here. William, knowing what you want to be is quite a change and an accomplishment. Glad UNCP was a part of it. Our last student's response, and I just wish I could have included all of them, but I couldn't for time, to Derek Pate, an elementary education major. Where's Derek? Derek went through changes in personal growth and social knowledge. Derek writes, my semester of study abroad in Sweden changed the way that I looked at people. Not only did I learn about the cultural diversity of our world, but I learned about my own culture and values. When I returned to UNCP, I had a broader appreciation of diversity, culture, and the uniqueness and value of every individual. Wow. Derek, moving away from self to others, from me to we, is a major change in one's life. Respecting and appreciating others will be of great value to you in the future. I want to thank these students and all of the students who submitted responses to the questionnaire. Dr. Meadows, if a part of a university's business is to help in the total socialization of students, then we are certainly in the right business. Now to the final part of my address. My colleagues and I have been giving most of you advice for nearly 4 or 5 years, even longer for some of you. Today will be no exception. Therefore, the third part of my address deals with giving you some last words of advice for the year 2000 and the new millennium that will officially begin in about a year from now. Realizing the importance of such advice, I sought help from the 4 previous UNCP recipients of the University Board of Governors Award for Excellence in Teaching. I asked each of these outstanding teachers to jot down a few words of advice that they would like to share with you through me. Dr. Bonnie Kelly, our 1995 BOG recipient, has this to say. This is to you. The ability to learn about ourselves and the complex world we inhabit is unique to our species. The knowledge you have gained can never be taken from you. Continue to accrue it, and it will serve you well. However, there is something beyond using knowledge to make our lives more comfortable. Learning brings joy to the spirit. It is truly a gift. Treasure it. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Your message is clear. Learning should be and needs to be a lifelong activity. Dr. Kitty Riley, our 1996 recipient of the BOG Award, wrote the following food for thought after conferring with her daughter, who is a college sophomore. She writes, "It is not the end, and it's not the beginning either. You're smack dab in the middle. Make the most of it." Can't beat that. Thanks, Kitty. Although commencement refers to a beginning, Dr. Riley reminds you that you're still smack dab in the middle of life. Make the most of it. Dr. Harold T., UNCP's 1997 recipient of the BOG Award, has this to say. Over the past 4 years, each of you has faced numerous challenges. And as evidenced by where you sit today, you have been successful in meeting these challenges. Congratulations on this great achievement. At this time of accomplishment and celebration, it is tempting to think that life's major challenges are behind you. That is likely not true. Your futures hold many challenges. No matter what your future may hold, my advice to you, in the words of the late Jimmy Valvano, is to never, 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 ever give up. Thanks, Harold. Your messages that the future holds many challenges for our graduates and that quitting is not a part of the blueprint for success has been heard. Dr. David Eliades, our 1998 recipient of the BOG Award for Excellence in Teaching, and my predecessor, wrote the following: "Life is truly a wonderful adventure. Embrace all that it has to offer with enthusiasm. Commit yourself to a lifetime of learning. Be prepared always to meet your responsibilities. Learn to laugh at what is humorous and ludicrous, including sometimes yourself. Give back to your communities. Contribute money, but even more, give of yourself. Be a volunteer and make a difference. And finally, treat everyone as you wish to be treated. Thanks, David. That our graduates should accept life as a wonderful adventure has been heard. Before closing this address, I would like to join my 4 colleagues with some words of advice pertinent to one central question that must be on each and every one of your minds. Am I prepared to face the challenges of the year 2000 and beyond? Before answering, I want the undergraduates to consider this. I have been told that you represent approximately 30% of your freshman class. 30%. For whatever reason or reasons, you are sitting here about to receive your undergraduate degree. But 70% of your freshman class is not here. Let's reflect on what has happened to you, and this is for graduates and undergraduates. And maybe we can discover what might have happened to a large part of this 70%. During your years at UNCP, I know that you have experienced one or more of the following. I know this. Some of you fell in love, while some of you fell out of love. What obstacles? Some of you got married, while some of you experienced the pain and agony of separation or divorce. Some of you had to battle life-threatening diseases like cancer and cope with physical and learning disabilities. Some of you have experienced the loss of a relative, a loved one, or a close friend. Some of you have had to hold down full-time jobs or a combination of 2 or more part-time jobs, go full-time at the university, and raise a family of children, and in some cases, you did this alone as single parents. Lastly, some of you had to adjust to the social and emotional challenges of dormitory life in search of self. Yet here you sit, ready to receive your degree. Are you ready for the challenges of the year 2000 and beyond? You most certainly are. Because the challenges that you will face will be similar and probably not very different from the challenges that you overcame in order to be here today. You are Y2K ready. 2 weeks from this Saturday night, when the clock strikes midnight, and some of the predictions that people are making with respect to computers, so forth, cutting off, you will be working. On behalf of my colleagues, we are going to miss you. Don't forget us or where you received your degree from. Wherever you go, carry the UNC name with pride and affection. May God bless each and every one of you, your families, loved ones, and friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wish. And that is a nice-looking medallion. I'll now ask that the provost return to the lecture and present the candidates for degrees. Dr. Jenkins. I know that response is not for me. This is what the parents and students have been waiting on for years. Will the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences, the School of Business and Mass Communications, the School of Education, and the nursing program please stand? Chancellor Meadows, these students have successfully completed all requirements for graduation and have been duly approved by the faculty and the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. As the provost of the university, I am proud to recommend that their baccalaureate degrees be conferred.
By the virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina, by the state of North Carolina, and the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree for which the faculty has certified you, together with all the rights and privileges thereupon pertaining, effective on December 15, 1999, and offer you my warmest congratulations.
Cynthia P. Adams. John C. Allen. James Ian Aldred, cum laude. Melissa G. Anderson. Christopher Ray Atkins. William Hackney Atmore. George Wesley Basin, Jr. Dana Wynette Benson, cum laude. Amy Mills Berry. Natasha Cummings Behrman. Mickey J. Biggs. Kimberly Michelle Brewer Starr. Deidre Ann Brown. Anthony A. Bowie. Tony Bullard. Charles Patrick Bullock. Matthew Ryan Byers. Sherry Dawn Bird. Barbara Capers Campbell. Jessica Lee Carter. Francisco Caldo, Jr. Peggy Jacqueline Calder. Kelly Holland Cecil. Otto S. Chamberlain. Larry Chandler. Kimberly Ann Martin Chavis. Philip Matthew Klein, cum laude. Mary L. Collier. Christopher S. Perella. Michelle Narissa Crowder. Benedicto Cruz Jr. Michael Cummings. Bryant Keith Dargan. Frederick A. Dolly III. Lisa Doan Edwards. Michael Wayne Evers. Brendan Fairclough. Susan Donnell Falk. John Daniel Ferguson II. Angela Denise Fisher. Susan McCrae Fletcher. Patrick Earl Floyd. Joseph Windsor Flynn. April Dawn Goins. Helena Bridget Goins. Bettina Rockwell Hall. Jack Wayne Hartle. Johnny Heath Hartman. John Vester Haywood III. Catherine Ann Hennant. George Frederick Hintz. Aaron Louise Hogue. Jennifer K. Horn. Scott Allen Hunt. Tanya Harris Jacobs. Tori Jacobs. Gloria Pate Johnson, cum laude. Jack Johnson Jr. Latanya Demetrius Jones. Randall Channing Jones. Pamela Haywood Jobson. Brenda Spencer Little. Kimberly Latoya Little. Dawn Michelle Locklear. Susan Tenney Locklear. Wendy Ann Lowry. Orion D. Lowry. William Gordon Lowry Jr. Lucille Umber McIntyre. Jesse Marvin McQueen. Cherise Lynn Vines McCrae. Sean Michael Martin. Donna H. Matthews. Tammy Meyer, cum laude. Shane J. Mraz. Presley Edward Moore Jr. Anthony Alfred Morrison. Brian Curtis Murray. Frederick Terrell Murray. Serena Lynn Oxendine. LaShonda Ann Patrick. Jennifer Marie Pelkey. William McCrae Pence Jr. Jimmy Lane Pittman. Karen R. Plaster. Charlene Ann Ponder, Melanie Cernice Fuller, Tammy Diane Powell, magna cum laude, Melissa P. Pravat, Patty Yvonne Ratcliffe, Fred L. Reed, Olivia Ann Reed, Frank A. Rodriguez, Valerie K. Rogers, Joseph Michael Shalif, William Warren Seeley, Sandra Swell Cersei, Sheila Ann Sellers, Samuel Duvall Shaw, Teresa Ann Shue, Donna Nunn Skipper, magna cum laude, Bob Alex Steele Jr., cum laude, James Thomas Stevens, Kenneth Eugene Stubbs, Mary Sandra Taylor, magna cum laude, Aaron Keith Thomas, Francis Darlene Thomas, cum laude, Carrie Irene Thomas, Vernon Ray Thompson II, Robert Douglas Trask Jr., Philip E. Walker, Michael Scott Waters, Sheila Whittington, Jeanette Willoughby, Richard Allen Wilson, Eva Desiree Yates, summa cum laude,